Welcome, everybody, to the Boycott Everything Podcast. Week 2 of the NFL season, brought to you by CGN.US, The Drastic Measure, and The Breaking Company. You can find us here on the YouTube channel. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share. You know the drill. Follow us on all our social medias down in the description below and on the screen. And you can also find us on Bang Bros.
What the fuck?
Oh, God.
I don't know if I like that one.
Holy fuck.
Hey, okay.
Yikes.
I was gonna save that one for another episode, but
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't do it with one of the other two we're doing this week because fuck, that could have been bad, really bad.
I actually like the plug because, boy howdy, I got a topic to talk about if we're talking about getting fucked this week.
Well, I'd like to welcome everybody to Four Fat Guys Talk Football. We still don't have a name, so I am Rev, your host. I have Wooly,
hello.
Mr. Iron Ranger,
Hello.
and the third and final co-host, Aegon TV.
What up?
So y'all know
I've got four fat guys on football.
Four Fat Guys on Football. That's the name right there, Wooly. There it is.
We almost have a full offensive line.
I'm strong enough to play center and right tackle, so we're good.
I'm not mostly ready for that.
All right. So y'all know the drill. We're going to go through each game, discuss the goods, the bads, the ins, the outs, and the uglies. Most of these games this week were pretty fucking ugly, actually, in one way or another. So we're just going to start off with the team that I bleed, Tampa Bay winning 24-14 in Carolina. I'm going to start this one off because it is indeed my team. Thank you, Cam Newton, for not wanting to play in Carolina or play football anymore. You gave a team that did not deserve to win a win. So I appreciate it. Jameis Winston had a whole whopping, 14 yards passing? No, he went 16 to 25, 208 yards, a TD, QB rating of 103. Newton went 25 to 51. That's insane. How can you think you're considered a top-end quarterback when you can't even complete 50% of your passes? For 333 yards. But the most important aspect I get out of this game is if you go back and watch some of the plays, there's times that when Carolina broke the huddle, Cam Newton stayed on his knees, looked like he was shell-shocked. It looked like he was just not wanting to be in that uniform. And I'm going to assume it's in the Carolina uniform, but holy crap, dude, did he look bad. I want to talk good about Tampa Bay, guys. I just can't. Our defense, where the fuck have you been the last couple years? And how come we have a team with Mike Evans on it and we're a defensive team? That's my only questions to you guys. Iron Ranger, what did you think?
Dude, it was an ugly game. Neither team looked like they wanted it from beginning to end. It was a lot of dink and dunk back and forth, but the biggest takeaway I have is Cam Newton doesn't look right yet. I mean, he had a 44-yard pass early in that game to Curtis Samuel. And, I mean, he hit him probably about 30, 35 yards down, and it looked like it took every ounce of strength he had. I mean, I don't see him playing with the Panthers beyond this year. This continues. And, man, if this shoulder doesn't get right, I don't see him having a career like he had before it.
Wow.
Just ugly both sides of the ball.
I think that the biggest, if you take the Cam story out, the fact that Tampa's defense is the way they are is actually pretty scary.
They do look legit, don't they?
Yep. Dude, Vernon Hargreaves, who got burnt by everybody last year, had 12 tackles. What? That's a lot. Shaq Attack had three sacks. He had 3 tackles. All 3 of them were sacks. So Wooly, what did you think? Because you watched part of this game with me.
I mean, it was ugly, so I can't really comment more than that.
Aegon?
Well, it was definitely a mess of a game. With watching it from just every red zone play just looked like no one was there to play. Uh, but unexpected points for the fantasy fun people. So Goodwin put up some good numbers.
Greg Olson doing Greg Olson things. That was fun to see at least.
Yeah.
He ain't done. He might have been the only player that came ready this week. Boy.
Yeah. Godwin 8 for 121. And definitely put some foot into Carolina. And Cam is either he ain't ready to come back or he's just not interested in playing. I'll have to see down the road.
Yeah, I don't get why they're going so heavy on the pass in Carolina. I mean, why attempt 51 pass plays and only 17 rushes, or 19 rushes if you count Cam Newton twice?
Well, that's the point I was going to hit before we left this game, and to show how good Tampa's defense is. You have probably right now the second best running back on your team, and you don't even have 20 rushes. That's all I had to say.
He only averaged what, like 2 yards run or something like that?
2.8,
Yep.
I think.
2.3.
2.3. So now we could actually discuss how good the Buccaneers defense is, because the next game we're going to discuss is the shellacking Cincinnati got by San Francisco 41-17. Last week, Tampa Bay gave up 0 touchdowns offensively. San Francisco scored 41 points this week.
Yeah.
So that's either saying that Seattle's defense is better than we all thought, which not Rev, you guys, or San Francisco is legit, like you guys called when were doing the beginning of the season rundown. So Jimmy G went 17-25, 297 yards, three touchdowns and a pick, and Andy Dalton had another monster fucking day, dude. I don't know what's up with the Red Rocket, but kids, he's balling. He went 26-42, 311, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. This was basically San Francisco came out, put their foot on Cincy's throat, first drive, and never released. Aegon?
Well, it's what I've seen from Cincy, being in the division with my team. It's Cincy's either there or it's not, and they didn't show up. It's what they've been for the last, I think, since Marvin took them over. It's what they've been. They're either hot or they're not.
Talk about two teams looking completely different this week. I mean, Cincinnati looked like a complete team last week, and I had questions about San Francisco. And flip to week 2, and it's the exact opposite. San Francisco looked unstoppable, and Cincinnati looked like it had no idea what it was doing.
I see. I don't see that with Cincinnati. I see Cincinnati is doing amazing, but I think the borderline is Tampa's defense may actually be as good as we think they are, because that's kind of what you expected out of Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers defense. That's the other big thing. That team does look pretty good defensively.
See, here's the biggest thing with Cincy this week. They had 316 total yards. They had 25 yards on the ground. That's not a team that's going to go anywhere. I mean, when you're talking, you're averaging less than 5 yards of play, and Andy Dalton has over 300. That's not going to fucking cut it. That's not going to cut it. The only thing that looked right this week is Andy Dalton, and it's weird because you take away his number 1 target, and all of a sudden now he has to read the field, and he looks like an actual quarterback.
John Ross looks amazing.
That's a fact.
John Ross looks amazing. It's 2 games in a row he's had over 100 yards receiving.
Yeah,
That's a big thing. Wooly?
I'm looking at some of these stats here, and I gotta ask, where is Cincinnati's offensive line? Because Andy Dalton got sacked 4 times in the game. You only got, what was that, 25 rushing yards? I mean, that's just a big sign of they don't have a fucking offensive line.
No, they really don't. I mean, the biggest thing with Andy Dalton is he looked crisp, but boy howdy, he had to get those passes out real fast. Even that interception he had, he rolled out of the pocket because it collapsed, and he had to just get rid of it because he was getting chased down. Man, just thinking how good Cincinnati would be if they could keep him upright and get some holes for Gio.
I had to check, guys. He has 9 sacks already.
Oh,
Fucking yikes.
And I'm sorry, Gio's not even their best option in the background. Mixon is a legit beast. Mixon, there's a reason why, but people don't have to like him. You don't lead a league in rushing and be bad. He led the AFC in rushing last year. Nothing's changed except for the offensive line, obviously.
Yeah.
Boy howdy, what a boring game.
Let's now move on to the undefeated team that does not deserve to be undefeated. The 1-0-1 Detroit Lions beating the Los Angeles Chargers.
you're doing that on purpose, aren't you?
I would never, ever say San Diego. Stay classy, San Diego.
Okay.
Phillip Rivers is by far the most wasted talent maybe in NFL history outside of Barry Sanders. He has made every receiver he's ever played with look amazing, and he can't win. I don't know what to say other than I feel bad for Phillip Rivers now.
How does Austin Eckler get 125 yards and they can only score 10 points? I don't understand at all. I mean, Detroit's defense isn't that impressive. I just don't know what to say, man. It was a weird game. It was a really defensive game with 2 defenses that shouldn't be this good. I don't know if that says more about the defenses maybe not showing up for week 1 and not being as good on paper as they are on the field, or if it's just 2 really inept offenses that need something.
I think I'll be honest with you. I think this game boiled down to who had the better coach. Because I've always thought that about Phillip Rivers anyway, guys. That he needs a better coach.
Yeah, when you think that boy, what's his name? Fucking old beard for Detroit now.
Oh, who the fuck is this dude? He's horrible.
He used to coach for fucking Patriots defense. Can't think of his name.
It doesn't matter because he lost to the Cardinals last week.
So when you're getting outcoached by him, God, you're fucking terrible. Dude, this was the theme of the week, though. There wasn't a single fucking game that had you on the edge of your seat.
Well, no,
maybe one.
We'll get to it. I'm sure. We will get to it. Aegon, Will, you got anything to say about this horrible game?
It was
Matt Patricia. There we go.
Yeah.
That's his dumb name.
It just seems like the offenses were very lacking in this game. It was all defense. The defenses seem to basically have each other's number, and Phillip Rivers should really do a lot better than he is. It's sad to see him go to waste.
I don't think it's Phillip Rivers, man. You don't have three receivers over 50 yards receiving and be bad.
No, it's there's something missing, and coaching, plays. I don't know what's missing, but they have to find whatever that missing piece is for him.
Wooly?
Yeah, I got none. I mean, I just saw there's a replay on the website we're using.
Yeah.
I just saw a freaking fumble on the goal line from the Chargers. So, I mean, that's pretty much how that game was for them.
Yeah. All right. So next game. Next game, this is one of the games I actually live tweeted about because I do not understand how this was a game. This was a game of three facets: the first half, the third quarter, and then the fourth quarter. The first half, Green Bay stomped a mud hole in every facet of Minnesota. The third quarter, Green Bay got their butts stomped in by Minnesota. And then the fourth quarter, both teams looked like they were just gassed and couldn't figure out what to do. Green Bay wins 21-16, putting them directly in first place in the AFC, the NFC North. Mr. Rogers went 22 of 34, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 sacks with a 101 QB rating. And Kirk Cousins, and remember, folks, he's one of the most expensive quarterbacks in the league. He went 14 of 32 with 230 yards passing with a 52.9 QBR. The story of this game was, why can't either team stop the rush?
I think they're both heavily lacking on their defensive lines, and they have
Minnesota's not though. That's the biggest problem.
Minnesota's not what?
Front four on paper might be the best in the league.
Minnesota's not what?
Lacking on the defensive line.
They can be the best in the league, but they're 1-1, and they beat a very bad Bears team barely, and they gave up 116 yards to Aaron Jones. That's a bad defensive line.
No. Green Bay beat Chicago last week. Minnesota stomped Arizona.
Oh yeah, that's right.
No, I watched this whole game, and man, I'll tell you, fucking Green Bay went up 21 points, 16 minutes into the game. And it looked like the Vikings had no idea what was going on. And then all of a sudden, they just shut them down. Green Bay couldn't get anything going after that. Mike Zimmer figured out what was going on, made some adjustments. Defense looked fine after that. The big problem in that game was Minnesota could not generate continuous drives. And the dumbest thing is that they decided to let Kirk Cousins pass more than 10 times. That was the big problem. You say Run CMC is the second best running back in the league, and I told you no, I think it's Dalvin. He showed it again this week. Dude, 20 rushes, 154 yards. This kid is phenomenal. Dude, you know the worst part is Minnesota would have won this fucking game if they hadn't fucking passed on 1st and goal from the 8-yard line where Kirk Cousins threw that fucking soul-crushing interception. If they had just kept running it down the throats of the Green Bay Packers, it would have been Vikings win.
Yeah, that's one stat that does kind of catch your eye is that Aaron Rodgers throws no picks, Kirk Cousins throws 2. And that could be the difference in the game right there. Just that.
The biggest, I'll tell you what though. What I saw in this game is that the fucking NFL referees have seen how much publicity the MLB umps have been getting this year, and they said, "Get off my corner." Being shitty at fucking umpiring games, that's our biz.
Now hold on. We have to save that for the New Orleans game. Come on.
I was about to say.
The Vikings had 4 offensive fucking pass interferences on them in this game. And 3 of the 4 were so fucking ticky-tacky. Disgusting. Pissed off.
That's what hurt the Vikings this game. I mean, they had 8 penalties for 100 yards. That kills.
Dude, and one fucking offensive pass interference, Dalvin Cook looked like he kind of stumbled into a defender, and then the defender wrapped him up, and they called Dalvin for a offensive pass interference that wiped off Stephon Diggs' first touchdown.
Yeah, that's what we get with quality NFL refereeing.
Boy, howdy. Fucking the referees, man. They are just awful. Just fucking awful. And boy, we'll get to it a couple more times before the end of this podcast.
I mean, it was so bad they had to apologize for the last Browns game last week.
Indianapolis 19, Tennessee 17. Once again, Tennessee cannot beat Indianapolis at home.
1 yard short.
1 yard short.
Brissett threw very little amount of passes. He only threw 28, but he had 3 touchdowns. And like I figured he would do, he would not be amazing, but he'd be effective. And that's what he is.
Dude, they have a chance to do something special this year. If Vinatieri can get right, sky's the limit for this team. Man, Brissett, he looks crisp.
Vinatieri probably should have
best quarterbacks coming into the league now.
Vinatieri should have probably retired Monday.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
He is absolutely an issue now. Because this game should not have been this close.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's what, 2-6 for the season?
Yeah. And missing 2 extra points is not acceptable for a professional kicker.
No.
Dude, I mean, 46 years of age.
Catches up to you.
Yeah, Father Time catches up to everybody, man.
Everybody. I don't think this is the first sport, nor the first superstar at a certain position we'll be discussing as a group this year. Just saying.
No, we've got some guys to talk about where Father Time might have caught up to them too.
Yep. In this sport, there's a couple more, and in football, in hockey, there's a couple, and in basketball, there's a couple, and we're covering all of them because that's how a fucking podcast should be ran. The biggest surprise to me is out of this entire game is Ty Hilton was the best receiver on the field with Delaney Walker on the field. And he only had 43 yards. That's how bad these offenses were. Or was it how good the defense? No, is it how bad the offenses were?
It might be a mix of both, man, because Tennessee's defense is legitimate and the Colts have some playmakers. I mean, neither team broke 300 total yards in this game.
That's true.
Just insane. When you're talking about the 2019 NFL game and neither offense can generate 300 yards. Those are some defenses. Those are some fucking playmakers. It'll be fun. One of these teams might end up being the 2017 Jaguars.
Yeah, because the Jaguars definitely ain't out there, but we'll get to them.
Oof.
Now, as everybody that's listening knows, we pick a worst team and a best team of the week, who played the best and who played the worst. And the next game, it's unanimous. The best team beat the worst team, 43-0.
Yeah.
I was going to try so hard to pick a best team that was not New England just for the fact that they play Miami. But I mean, come on.
I actually had somebody that was on my mind, but I went with this one just because the hype over the other team is, I think, way too fucking high right now. But we'll get to them. Tom Brady threw to like 900 people. It was weird.
There was nobody he couldn't throw to. It was just like, the Miami didn't show up. It's like,
yeah, he hit 9 different people in this game, and everybody had multiple catches.
Yeah,
just unreal. Tom Brady, Father Time ain't got shit on this man. But boy, I got to eat some crow. I actually picked Miami last week in our quick picks at the end. Never plays good in the fishbowl, and it was fucking hot. And I figured, you know what, dude, Miami might try to make a game of it. No,
they did try to make a game of it. No, they did actually try to make a game of it. But New England was playing football and the Dolphins were playing hopscotch.
No, they were playing the game of can we beat the over under. That's what they were playing.
No, you have to score to beat the over under.
No, they were pretty much playing that like their quarterbacks were working for New England as well. So it's like,
Dude, I think the line in Vegas on this game ended at New England plus 19, and I hope you fucking hammered that shit.
I'm just saying, guys, when your quarterbacks, both of them have 18 completions and 4 interceptions, maybe you need to knock it the fuck off. Holy shit. Hey, Miami, I don't know if you know this, but there's this quarterback. He's a little bit topical. He's a little bit controversial, but I'm pretty fucking sure that Kaepernick's better than both of these fucking clowns.
But
Fuck, I'm pretty sure that Woolie's better than both of these fucking clowns.
dude, this is exactly what Miami wants. I mean, I'm sure they're going to take Tua. They're probably bummed that they didn't wait one more year to get Trevor Lawrence. But
I
yeah,
don't think
they're going to get a QB. They're going to have
this is bias showing, but I don't think the quarterback in Alabama, Oklahoma, or Clemson is better than the one in Louisiana State. So I hope they take Tua. So when we lose the fuck out and be bad, we get Barrow in Tampa.
We'll see, man.
The difference is Tua didn't have to learn a new offensive scheme to play this year. Neither did the one in Oklahoma, neither did the one in Clemson. But Barrow in Louisiana State actually had to learn an entire new system in one off season, and he's fucking killing it. And everybody's sleeping on him. That's good. Keep fucking sleeping on Barrow because he's going to end up in Tampa, and we're going to have that defense with that receiver, and all of a sudden we're going to be good, and people are going to be like, well, Tua should have been number one. No, you'll see. Mark my fucking words. You'll see. Buffalo, 28. The New York Football Giants, 14. And I'm going to say this properly. Buffalo, 28. Saquon Barkley, 7. The biggest news coming out of this is my sneak pick and my sleeper pick that you and Wooly made fun of, Jaron. I said, and I quoted, if Daniel Jones starts at quarterback for the Giants before week 5, the Giants would do what?
Make the playoffs.
We're about to find out because that was announced today.
It was big news. Big news.
I don't think it's big news. You could play for the Giants right now.
I thought that they were going to hold off a little bit longer and try to get to the week 6 matchup against the Patriots. I think it is. I figured they were going to let Eli ride out on a
loss to the Patriots by 100.
Yeah, why not? Why not give him something to hang his hat on? It's a lost fucking season for the Giants, anyways. But
I do have a new favorite top 5 quarterback that I enjoy watching, and that's Josh Allen. I don't know why, but when I was watching it Sunday, I was just like, dude, he is actually really fucking good.
He was just amazing looking.
Yeah, he looked, and I understand the Giants defense. Before anybody says anything, I understand that's a dynasty, but Josh Allen made it look easy.
Dude, he's athletic, like sneaky athletic.
But it's not athletic.
Dude, everybody knows though. I mean, he was, I think from week 13 on last year in fantasy, he was the number 2 quarterback because of his rushing.
Yeah,
dude, he's finally calmed down that arm a little bit. It was a rifle last year. Now it's got a sight on it. Dude, he's good. He's going to be really good. Buffalo has a glimmer of hope in its future with him.
Agreed. No, agreed. My big thing is man, Cole Beasley looks pretty good outside of a Cowboys uniform, and I was not expecting that.
No, I wouldn't have either. But that entire offense is humming, man. John Brown also looked good.
Yep. Wooly? Willie doesn't
mean-
have a lot to say because he slept through the first half.
Yeah.
Of the week.
Yeah, that,
I can't blame you.
I don't know why, but I just did. But anyway.
Yeah. No, Call of Duty had nothing to do with it
Oh, not
whatsoever.
not
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 a
at all.
thing.
No. But yeah, I'm gonna be interested to see how the Giants' new starter does. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see.
I don't think he can do
You're
any worse
drafting
than
fifth
Manning.
overall, you better fucking do something.
Look,
Yeah.
I need him to only have one bad game the rest of the year. Okay?
Okay.
Daniel Jones can pop off after next week.
Guess who their opponent is next week, ladies and gentlemen?
Dude, it couldn't be a team in Florida.
It could not be a team in Florida. Could not.
Nah.
No way.
Hey, let's talk about my favorite topic now. The Pittsburgh, I'm sorry, the Pittsburgh Steelers being 0-2 and losing their shitty quarterback for the rest of the year. Let's talk about that, shall we? Thank you, Seattle. I appreciate the good karma given to the rest of the NFL by getting rid of his dumb fucking ass.
Karma's a bitch.
Yep.
Dude, I'll tell you what, man. Fucking Tomlin came out today and he said that Ben Roethlisberger plans on playing next year. He ain't playing next year. He's done. Call it a career right here.
It depends on
I
how
mean, what is he? He's 39, isn't he?
Yeah.
Let me
he's the
look
same.
this up.
It's the same year as Eli and Rivers.
Yeah. 37. He'll be 38 before the start of next season. Dude, you don't fucking recover from injuries at fucking 38 like you would at 28, man.
No,
Elbow injuries, shoulder injuries, they are tough to come back from. I think that might have been the last game we ever see Ben Roethlisberger take a snap.
couldn't happen to a better fucking idiot.
I think I'll try to come back, but I think he'll retire before the next season starts.
He won't be the same.
Just a shout out to our open NFL podcast. I got the AFC South goes to Pittsburgh. Fucking get the fuck out of here with this bullshit.
It did go through Pittsburgh, Rev. It was a trade called the New England Patriots.
No. That was just opening the anus cavity. I've always disliked the Pittsburgh Steelers since the whole thing with Roethlisberger years ago, and it was really hard not to say the other word I call him. That's why I stuttered. I dislike people fan-bagging a team that's won a bunch of Super Bowls just because they've won a bunch of Super Bowls, not because they're actually good. They lost their division. They didn't make the playoffs last year. How the fuck does the division go through them? It doesn't. And this is proof. Seattle looked amazing. I'm loving DK Metcalf. His attitude on the field is fucking amazing. And boy, somebody said that Seattle would be really good this year, and two other people kind of laughed at him. I won't say any names.
I think that if you only beat Mason Rudolph by 2 points, dude, we have yet to figure out exactly what you are. This game started with 5 punts and a fumble before we had any points on the board.
I do want to point out that all of the top 5 quarterbacks in pay this year, outside of Wentz and Dak, because Dak hasn't got paid yet, you do realize that they all sucked this week or got injured?
I mean, overpaid quarterbacks not playing well? No,
Not in this league.
we don't know that all too well.
And the football gods show no mercy.
But I will give credit where credit due. Russell Wilson went 29 of 35 for 300 yards passing. He was sacked more than he threw touchdowns, but a 131 QBR. That's a pretty good day against any NFL defense, unless you're playing,
Miami.
the Dolphins, and then it's a mediocre day.
Anytime you have 300 yards and 6 drops or 6 incompletions, that's a good goddamn day. I've never been a Russell fan, but he continues to prove me wrong on a weekly basis. I fucking hate him for it.
Now let's talk about one of my 3 karma games of the week. Dallas Cowboys 31, Washington Redskins 21. I call this a karma game because the first half of both games of the Redskins has seen Dallas Cowboys and Philadelphia Eagles fans taking shots at each other, making fun of the other team, just for the second half Redskins to show up in the second half of both games.
Oh, that's Redskins. It's they don't disappoint.
They can't disappoint when the bar set so low.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. They don't disappoint. You know what to expect from them.
But I'll be a podcast host that actually asks the right question. Why the fuck is Case Keenum the starting quarterback for the Redskins?
Because there's a man named Schneider still running the team.
Oh. Nope, that's not a good enough answer.
that's going to be the answer.
Dallas came out very slow, looked very bad. I saw it all over my Twitter feed, and all I could think is, so did the Eagles last week. And then wait until the Redskins defense shows up in the second half, and they did the same thing in this second half as they did last week against the Eagles and didn't show up. And Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott just kind of went rucksaw out of them, off them. This is the worst team in that division.
Dude, I remember somebody saying, bet the fucking house on Jay Gruden being the first coach fired this year.
He's not going to be the first one
This
fired.
is proof in the pudding. He cannot fucking make halftime adjustments to keep his team going. He can't. He is literally the worst fucking coach. Boy, howdy. My 4-month-old could coach this Washington team way better than him. It's sad.
I don't think it.
No one is ever going to be a good coach for the Redskins as long as Schneider wants to be the god controller of the team.
Facts.
Till Schneider walks away from trying to control the team, no coach will ever have success in Washington.
Dude, see, I don't believe that because I said the same thing about Jason Garrett until the last couple of years. You got a couple of good offensive minds in there to help them along. Maybe stop listening to your owner so goddamn much. And, man, you're going to have a good goddamn team.
There's a couple teams in NFL you can't do that with, and you just named both of the teams that you mainly can't do that with.
Schneider runs his team.
Yeah.
It's like he's the head coach.
Jones and Snyder are the god kings of their teams.
Yeah, but the one thing is that Dallas has had some good offensive coordinators the last couple of years. They've gotten the most out of Dak, and man, you get a guy like Ezekiel Elliott in that backfield. Boy, howdy. That'll change what you think about that coach real quick.
No, I still think Garrett's trash.
Dude, he is trash, but he does what Jerry Jones wants.
But what Jones thought was going to happen didn't happen, and the karma bus came and hit them by Sean Payton signing to 2024 Sunday. So they're kind of stuck with Garrett until they can throw enough money at Jimmy Johnson to come back or some shit like that. Because they have they have one good coach as their offensive coordinator, and I think Clements is just too young to be a head coach yet. He needs to get another couple years underneath him. But I could be wrong. That could be who they go with if the Cowboys don't win their division, which I picked not to happen anyway. So,
dude, I'll tell you what, man. Kellen Moore, he impressed me when he played for Boise. He just seems to have a fucking offensive mind.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I hope he gets a chance sooner rather than later to run an entire team because he sees the game kind of like Sean McVay sees the game.
Yeah, but Sean McVay is extremely over fucking hyped.
Dude, I don't know about that, man. Don't forget the Rams were fucking trash before he took them over, and he flipped the entire script in one season.
he flipped the entire script, or did that owner that left St. Louis and didn't want to spend money in St. Louis spend money? Oh wait, let's
Fuck
go to let's
you,
go to that one.
Kroenke.
Spent some money, but dude,
He spent a lot of money, not some money. He spent a lot of money.
don't forget, we thought Jared Goff was a bust after his first season.
I didn't.
Right?
The two things I have been right about was Gurley is not as good as people thinks he is, and Jared Goff is not as bad as people think they are. And I've been right on both of them.
I had fucking high hopes with Goff too. He's got a fucking cannon. We'll get to that one later, but boy howdy.
Next game, my game of the week, by the way, Baltimore 23, Arizona 17. Aegon can confirm I was invested in this game. I'm invested in the fucking Cardinals, Wooly. I'm invested completely in the Cardinals. Kyler Murray is my new favorite young quarterback. He is so fucking fun to watch. 25 or 40, 349 yards, 90.5 QBR in your second game against that Ravens defense.
Yeah. Obviously, Ravens are my team. Love them. But Murray was amazing. They were not prepared for what Murray dished out.
And the thing that changed this game was, yes, they were not prepared for Murray, but the Cardinals are still a bad defensive team.
Yeah.
So giving 120 yards up to Lamar Jackson after he throws for 272. By the way, first quarterback in NFL history to throw for over 250 yards and runs for over 120. First quarterback in history. And we're talking about Randall Cunningham, Michael Vick, Steve Young. We're talking about really good running quarterbacks. Yeah. He's the first one in history to do it.
That's a regular season stat though, because Kaepernick broke that in his first playoff game.
Yeah, but we're not in the postseason, so I don't have to bring that up.
Correct. I know, but a lot of people ran with that as it was true fact, and no, it's been one-upped before.
I don't know if you know this, but they know this. I'm probably the biggest Kaepernick fan in America, and I purposely didn't say his name because it's not the postseason. Like, I think Kaepernick could play for every team in the entire NFL but two, and I think he'd be better than every starting quarterback but five right now. And that's including the team down in the Tampa St. Pete 813-727 area code. I love Kaepernick. I've always loved Kaepernick. My fucking picture on Facebook may still be Kaepernick. If it's not, it was that way for 3.5 years. Like, I love Kaepernick as a person, as a player, everything he's done. But what Lamar Jackson did yesterday was extremely special because we're talking about regular season when Michael Vick has ran for 300 yards or damn near. Randall Cunningham is the greatest Eagles quarterback to ever play. And he was a special running quarterback. And Steve Young, even though he's an idiot now, he was a special quarterback. So what he did yesterday against those Cardinals, it either says a lot about the Cardinals defense being shoddy or a whole lot about maybe Lamar Jackson is a bit
I'm gonna go with the former.
I think Lamar is highly underestimated by most of the league.
I think that he grew by leaps and bounds this offseason.
Oh, hell yeah.
You saw him at the end of last year when he took over for Flacco. His balls just sailed. He had no touch. And he comes in this year, and he's hitting everybody right in the hands in stride.
Well, I mean, the difference between this year and last year is last year he had Crabtree as his number one receiver, basically. This year he has Andrews and Brown, who are both burners and can catch.
Yeah. I'll say last year the entire offense was built around Joe Flacco, and then this year it's built around Lamar. And I'll tell you what, if Tim Tebow had John Harbaugh as a coach, fuck, dude, the sky would have been the limit with him. Because when you have a coach that plays up to your strengths, man, this is what it looks like with these futuristic quarterbacks.
The difference is Lamar Jackson was completely underrated and told to play receiver coming into the league because of the color of his skin. Tim Tebow, it was not one person. It was a lot of people. That's why he was passed on in the draft.
Dude,
Wooly, Aegon, did I not say that Lamar Jackson was the best quarterback out of that draft?
Oh yeah.
And I was
thought
right.
so too.
And I was
thought
right.
so
And
too.
that's including Mayfield, right?
Yeah.
I still say Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback. And the fact that he was taken after all the other ones proves my point more than yours. And more than that, we'll go to what I know is fact. Tim Tebow is the most overrated quarterback football player in the history of college and professional football ever. There is nobody even remotely fucking close to being as overrated as his useless ass. And he proved it when he went to Denver and had to get carried by a fucking defense that was second goddamn level.
Dude, his coach was Josh fucking McDaniels, man. Like, I don't know if you have there's literally no more bullheaded a coach though than Josh McDaniels.
If you're as great as everybody tells you are and you believe you are, you can make a difference. Need proof? How many Super Bowls does Eli Manning have? And how many times did him and his coach not get along? A lot.
But that's the difference is that like what John Harbaugh is doing with Lamar, who Josh McDaniels was not willing to do that. Dude, I think that's what I'm saying. John Harbaugh deserves to get the last 10 coach of the years for what he's done with his teams.
No, because
dude, he builds around his playmakers,
but he has a lot of say so. He has a lot of say so who stays on that team, and the fact of the matter, he allowed that contract to be given to Flacco takes away every fucking player of the year and NFL MVP and everything that he could ever get, because that is one of the biggest albatross fucking contracts in the history of the NFL.
Dude,
as soon as he signed that contract, I went to Aegon and said that was the biggest mistake ever. And Aegon goes, "Yeah, I think so, but we'll see."
It was actually Bisciotti who laid down that he was gonna pay him that much.
Dude, nobody else would have. But when you win a Super Bowl for a team that's starved for one, that's what you get.
Yeah,
you get paid.
Flacco won that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Oh, Flacco won that Super Bowl. So yeah. I guess Brad Johnson won the Super Bowl for Tampa, right?
Dude, are you telling me that Joe Flacco didn't have the best, like, top 3 Super Bowl runs of all time that postseason?
Until the Super Bowl.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Dude.
When you talk about any Ravens team, if you talk about any Ravens team and you say their quarterback, no, at any point in time, the Ravens, the Buccaneers, the Bears, and even the Giants, if you say that those teams, any of those teams won their Super Bowl because of their quarterback, you have smoked way too much marijuana in your life.
Dude, the one thing that the Baltimore run had was that Joe Flacco had to carry him through the two playoff games. Yeah, they had 2. Dude, when your quarterback wins your 2 games to get you to the Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. It's the quarterback Super Bowl. You know how it is, man. This is the NFL. It's a quarterback league.
Yeah, the Ravens defense won. The Ravens defense won that Super Bowl just like they won their first one.
Yeah, it's just like this. Yeah, both Super Bowls. It was all the defense. Flacco gave us more offense in our second Super Bowl, but it was still our defense that carried us in that Super Bowl.
I know, but that Flacco run was historic, man. You can't knock him getting that stupid fucking contract.
I can, because the Ravens probably should have been in the Super Bowl another 3 or 4 times, but couldn't because they had an albatross sitting in their backfield.
That's what's going to happen to Seattle. Now,
100%. 100%.
Dude, I mean, this is what happened to Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers got paid. They've never fucking looked good again. You got to have those young, cheap quarterbacks.
Or Tom Brady.
Next game. We got to get off ball.
Next game, Wooly will confirm, and Aegon will confirm. My favorite quarterback in the NFL now. Period. End of story. Porn stash and all. Gardner Minshew II.
He loves that porn stash.
Losing to Houston 13-12. Minshew is something fucking else. When you're on the field with Deshaun Watson and you outplay him in every facet, running and passing, you are something fucking special. And they only lost that game because for some reason they decided to hand the ball off to Fournette instead of giving the ball to Minshew and letting him run. Because when I picked Fournette to be the star of that team, Foles was their quarterback. And I had never heard of Gardner Minshew. I love Minshew. Minshew is so fucking good. He's going to be a superstar in this league.
Yeah, and the thing, no one was really talking about him until last week when he had to go in.
Well, the first thing that me and you said when we were watching last week was, what the fuck is his name? And fun fact, there is no Gardner Minshew Sr., guys. He's that fucking swagger. He's that fucking gangster. He's not Gardner Minshew Jr. He's just Gardner Minshew the second. Fuck you.
Dude, I love him more every day.
Yeah, for sure. Did you see his clothes getting off the plane? Holy crap, dude. He's dressed like a 70s fucking disco porn. He's just amazing.
I gotta see this.
He's living that stash.
Where do I go?
We're tweeting about this a couple days ago. Dude, real, this fucking guy, Gardner Minshew. I'm gonna have to
retweet it, Wooly, just so you can see it now. I just retweeted it, but yeah, dude. Like, hey, Tampa, first round draft pick and Winston flat across from Minshew right now. Go, do it.
Dude, I don't know. How long is that Foles contract for? It was 2 years, right?
Yeah, Foles is still a good quarterback. Like, he just got injured, but this dude, his fucking swagger is next fucking level.
You find somebody who's got raw skill? Yeah, dude, you ride him.
What Bang Bros scene is he going to now?
No. He was in the movie with John Travolta, Staying Alive. Fuck you. You see that? If you don't see the previous tweet, I actually typed on yesterday. I said, "Hey Tampa, give Tampa trade Winston and next year's first and a third round draft pick for Ramsey and Minshew right now, straight across. Let's fucking go and give them the next year because Ramsey's going to sew up our second half of the defensive backfield on the left side, while Hargreaves has got the right side, and then we get a quarterback that actually wants to play football. That's the difference. That's why I like him so much. Go watch him play. Every down he's in there, he wants to be there. He wants to get hit. He wants to throw the ball. He wants to run the ball. It's fucking fun. And it sucks that he plays for an 0-2 Jacksonville team.
He plays like a 70s quarterback in the wrong era.
Right. Fact. And Jaron's tweet to me is proof of that. It's so fucking amazing how much I love that kid. Like, I'm excited about the future of the NFL because the next game we're going to discuss the shellacking, and once again another game that's really close that wasn't really that close. 28-10. The best quarterback in the NFL right now, Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
Jeez. 30-44.
Another 120 plus QBR game.
443
What a weird
yards.
game that was, though. I mean, literally, it starts out 10-0 Raiders after one.
Yep.
And then the Chiefs just go on a complete air raid blitz for the second quarter. And then it looked like neither team really felt like playing anymore after that. Just super odd. Dude,
I'd have to check, but
Oakland got its soul taken, and Kansas City knew it.
I do have to check, but I think that Mahomes is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw 300 yards in the first half of a season. Because he has 300 plus yards in game one and game two in the first half. What?
Jesus.
Fucking
crazy.
What kind of crazy shit is that?
I think we have to play his ass next week too.
Oh, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Look, I was gonna pick the Ravens a lot, but fuck, man. Fuck. DeMarcus Robinson, 6 touch. That's the thing that impresses me the most about Mahomes. Last week it was Sammy Watkins for 5 million yards. This week it was DeMarcus Robinson for 500 yards. Oh, and the sleeping giant, the best tight end in the NFL, Travis Kelce, finally started getting going. the NFL may be in trouble by 2 AFC teams this year instead of 1. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's
Dude, the one thing you take away though is Oakland's defense isn't that great, and the Chiefs only got 31 rushing yards. I mean, that's not going to play when it gets cold.
Really? Ain't that what they? So how many times are we going to try to cut Mahomes at the knees before everybody stops and realize that maybe he is as legit as they say he is?
Oh no!
Because remember,
he's legit.
We're going into season 2 of his career, and he's not supposed to be this good because teams are going to be able to figure him out. Well, I could be wrong, but I think he's leading the league in passing overall. I do believe he's leading the entire league.
Dude, he's the best quarterback in the league.
Patrick Mahomes has a 136 QBR, 55 or 77, 71.4
season lead. He's a season leader for passing, 821 yards.
821 fucking yards.
Good God.
Dude, he's disgusting. It's so fun to watch.
He is absolutely
I wish I
disgusting.
didn't hate the Chiefs so bad.
I don't like the Chiefs, but I don't hate the Chiefs. So it's one of those things that's like, okay, let's see where this one goes. All right, let's talk about another sloppy fucking game. Oh, speaking of Albatross, 35 or 50, 292 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 2 sacks. Birds of the feather flock together. The same shit, different day for Joe Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
Chicago 16, Denver 14. How bad are you as a quarterback to be able to beat the Chicago Bears with that quarterback?
Yeah.
Dude, they have a good run game too. They have great receivers. He's awful.
Bad. He's bad. He's bad.
Good.
He is so fucking bad.
God, I watched this entire game too, and man, outside of looking really good for the last 4 minutes of the game, he's a really rough watch for 55. Boy, howdy.
He's a really, really rough watch, no matter what, and he has been that way since the season he got his fucking contract.
I couldn't believe I had seen 2 soul-crushing interceptions from 2 of my teams in one day, but man, fucking Denver's driving and then Flacco just throws it up for no fucking reason. I don't get it. Why do these guys do that? Like, especially Flacco, who's been in the league so long.
Because he listened to people like you about 3 fucking games and swears that the rest of his body of work doesn't tell us he sucks. He, like you, thinks that those 3 games defined who he was. He, like you, was wrong because he's been trash every other game of his entire fucking career. Every game. There has never been a game in the preseason, the postseason, or the regular season, other than those 3 games, I can look at Joe Flacco and go, yeah, he should be a starter somewhere.
Flacco's the prime example that even trash can shine for a little while.
He's the prime example of what's wrong with the NFL.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks are way too overhyped, and if you have 2 or 3 good games, it can destroy a team. This contract's going to destroy 2 teams. Congratulations, Mr. Denver Bronco, Mr. Elway. You still suck at picking quarterbacks. Hey, remember those refs?
That hurt me so bad.
It's not hurting you if it's telling the truth. It's just letting you hear words that you need to hear.
I know, but the truth hurts a lot.
Oh, I know. Another karma game, I'll call this. Hey, New Orleans Saints fans, still believe that you're the best in the NFC? Sit your fucking ass down. You're not even number 1 in your division. New Orleans loses to the mighty Rams. I say that with a joke in my throat. 27-9. And the karma in that is you ruined the game of football to watch on TV if you're just watching the games. If you're watching like me and Wooly do, and now Aegon does every Sunday morning, You didn't ruin it for us because we don't have to worry about the stupid ticky-tacky bullshit pass interference replays. This is karma. And not only is this karma because Drew Brees got hurt, but how many bad calls did the Saints have against him, Wooly? Like 12?
Something like that.
It was a lot. and the only thing I will give Saints fans as a whole is I think you're right. I think you're being focused. Because y'all had a lot of dumb penalties both weeks that made no sense.
Yeah, last week was a roughing the kicker penalty that should not have been a roughing the kicker.
No.
That almost cost him. And then this week, God.
The only thing I will say about the Saints is if Bridgewater gets going, y'all did, and I said that from the beginning, I still think that you have the best backup in the league with Bridgewater. But losing Drew Brees right now is going to hurt really, really, really bad.
How long is he out for? Like
5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I don't know what to say about this. Saints, you reap what you sow. But why? Why are the refs so bad? Like, we've dealt with this for years now with replays, though. Overall, why are people still blowing balls dead instead of just letting it play on and then going to the booth?
Oh, when we get to the Philadelphia game, there's like 2 plays I want to talk about that blew my mind that they blew the ball dead before the play was even close to being done. Like, what the fuck is going on with you? Look, I agree with Iron Ranger with this statement. Is this now a competition between the NBA, the NFL, and the MLB since the NBA and Major League Baseball cannot catch football in popularity in this country? Are y'all just having a competition of who's got the worst referees, umpires, or whatever it happens to be in your sport? Like, holy crap. It's been a travesty in both sports this year, and I guarantee it's not going to get any better with basketball. And it started at the end of last year with hockey. Like the umpires, the refs, the line judges, all the officials for those sports, it feels like they're trying to become stars in the league because they could never make it in the league. Is that rough? Is that too harsh?
I feel like they're on a pay for penalty system in some of these games.
New Orleans' next 6 opponents, boys, at Seattle this coming Sunday. That's going to be a rough game for them. At Tampa Bay comes to New Orleans. Y'all don't probably follow a lot of Tampa Bay New Orleans games, but that's the only game that we play competitive against New Orleans every year is in New Orleans. So I had them going 1-1 in those 2 games. They'll beat the shit out of the Jaguars. They'll probably beat the I'm sorry, I skipped the team. They're going to be 1-2 after coming out of Tampa going into Jacksonville because Dallas is going to beat a mud hole in them without Drew Brees.
Oh, that's a fact. That Cowboys team is going to just walk all over them.
So I think they'll beat Seattle, lose to Dallas, lose to Tampa, beat Jacksonville. And I'll be honest with you, I think they're going to lose to Chicago and Arizona. And remember,
I can see Arizona being on the up and up at that point.
Yeah.
As long as Murray he'll play the way he is.
As long as Murray gets more reps, the better he's going to be. I will guarantee that right now. The more reps he gets and the safe as he's been playing, because he hasn't been running a lot, even though he's probably the fastest quarterback in the league. Man, that team's going to be no joke. Wooly, you got anything else to say on this game?
No.
Good answer, Wooly. Next game.
Oh, you didn't hear me?
No.
Yeah.
Say it now?
Nope.
The Karma Bowl. That's what I call this. And this is where one of the 2 teams I want to gets shit on. Hey, Philadelphia Eagles fans. Can you shut the fuck up now? Can that be a thing?
Philly sports fans in general.
No. I don't hate all Philly sports fans, but Eagles fans, starting Sunday morning, Mr. Iron Ranger, Mr. Aegon, Mr. Wooly, I had 37 followers that I followed that were Eagles fans. I now have 3.
Jesus.
Love it.
Because your fan base is fucking garbage to your own team. I saw people calling Wentz soft. I saw people calling fucking Deshaun Jackson soft. I saw people just the shit that y'all were saying. Oh, we're bad in the first half. Da 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 da. Carson Wentz went 25 of 43 with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions with a 61.3 QBR. Dak Prescott's not a good quarterback, but right now he's better than Wentz. We don't do entire body of works on this podcast. So when he said, Iron Ranger said earlier, that Dalvin Cook's probably the second or third best running back in the league right now, I cannot disagree with him because he is 100% right for this season. Carson Wentz is a special quarterback. He is a great quarterback. But he missed time in a game that needed to be a win because of an injury again. And we have to start getting into the conversation. Is he injury prone? Yes, he's amazing. He makes throws that nobody since Joe Montana has made. Nobody in the history of professional football. Wentz is that good. But when are we going to start talking about him getting hit, him being hit 12 times, sacked 3 times, hurried 15 times? When are we going to start talking about no matter how good he is, he's not as good as y'all gas him up to be?
Dude, I think we're going to see another Andrew Luck saga here in a couple of years with Wentz. If they keep not protecting him, man.
And the difference
that's his big issue.
The difference is Wentz is a legit superstar. Luck never was.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, Wentz can go places if he gets the protection he needs and doesn't get beat up.
I don't know if there was something wrong. I don't know if y'all watched this game or cared about this game, but there were so many injuries in this game. Like a fuck ton. A lot of them on the Eagles. They lost 2 receivers. They lost their linebacker. They lost their tight end for a couple plays. They lost 2 offensive linemen. They lost Wentz. Like, Atlanta's field may have just been shit. But no matter how shit you are, you cannot say that a 61.3 QBR against a team that lost to fucking Kirk Cousins last week is a good quarterback.
Yeah.
Dude, sloppy game. I'll tell you that much.
Still for now, the best team in the East. Still for now, the best team in the East. For now. Yes, I understand that Dallas is undefeated, but Dallas has beat a team that Philly's already beat and the Giants by 912. We'll see what Philly does this coming week, and we'll go from there. We'll see what Wentz does this coming week, and we'll go from there. This week they play Detroit. If they lose to Detroit, we may need to have another conversation about, was Rev right about the Giants in the first place?
Dude, if you're saying the Eagles are the best in the East, you're high.
No, I'm not. How can I be high?
Well, it's going to be Dallas. Landslide.
It's going to be Dallas. It's going to be Dallas. I don't want to admit that I still think it's going to be the Giants now. We'll see. Last game of the week. The OBJ Browns versus the New York Jets. I mean, the Cleveland Browns versus the New York Jets. Baker Mayfield had 325 yards, and OBJ had 161 of them.
Yep. Baker Mayfield is still an overrated talent. I think without OBJ, there'd be nothing there.
So Browns fans, you just heard me have a coming to Jesus meeting with the Eagles fans. Let's have a discussion. When are you going to admit that your offensive line is one of the worst in professional football? for Mayfield to be running around the way he had to against that defense without Mosley, the Jets' best two defenders was not on the field. Still gave up 3 sacks. That's going to be the end of your season if you cannot protect overrated field.
How is it so hard to build an offensive line? It's unreal how some of these teams are just terrible at it.
It's the only reason why I think Dallas is going to win their division if Daniel Jones doesn't pop off like I think he does, because they have by far the best offensive line in professional football. We can't judge, just so we're clear, we can't judge what the Patriots have as an offensive line because they played Cream Puff and the Dolphins. Just saying.
Could you imagine if the Patriots had to play legitimate teams 6 times a year? Oh, they would have won.
Their schedule was set up to play 6 games this year. I still cannot believe that I can say this and actually mean it. I think their toughest game this year now is Tampa Bay and London. I think that game is going to be something fucking else now, because I'm not used to seeing a good Tampa defense anymore, guys. I'm a battered football fan of my football team.
I think Buffalo's going to be tough against them both games this year.
Dude, if their defense can just stop anybody when time is needed, Josh Allen is the second best quarterback in that division. Josh Allen's top 10 in that league now. He looked really good this week.
He did. Let's hope he keeps it going.
All right, so we all agree best team in the NFL right now is
New England.
New England. It's not even close.
Aegon?
It's still New England, but you know.
I will agree. I will make a caveat though. I don't agree completely, so I will be the off color and say the best team in the NFL right now is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Damn it, you're gonna make me edit.
Yep.
God damn it.
The worst team in the league.
Do we even have to say?
Can you put
16 Miami Dolphins.
Can you put the University of Miami Hurricanes logo on the screen? Because I think they're better than the Dolphins.
Wait, you want me to put the U in the worst spot? I mean, come
Yeah.
on. Why are we going?
Yeah.
Why are we going?
Because no
Tarnish.
matter, you don't watch college football, the U is still the worst team in college football in Florida too.
Poor Miami.
First 2 weeks of the year. Year ended right now. Who's your MVP? Go, Jaron.
What's that? Two weeks in MVP. Lamar. I think Lamar will take it this far into the season.
I mean, if he keeps dressing the way he does, Minshew.
Yeah.
Aegon. Aegon.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I still think if he's playing the way he is, my boy Lamar.
I'm not completely on that fucking train yet, boys, but Mahomes is the best player in the league right now. And I don't even think it's remotely fucking close. And that sucks because I was going to say Minshew until Wooly once again took it. All right. So the way we do the next session, the last section of this podcast, Aegon, is I'm going to name a team. I'm going to say your name. First team that comes to your mind. No thinking. You can't be like, oh, but you actually have to say the first team that comes to your mind. And that's your pick for the week. Were you ready?
Okay.
Yes? No? Maybe?
Yeah.
Jaron?
In terms of what?
Oh,
though?
yeah.
I'm going to we're doing the lineup. I'm going to
Okay.
give you the teams that play each other next week, and you name the first team that you think is going to win.
Pick'ems.
All right, it's Pick'ems. Starting with Jaron, Tennessee and Jacksonville. Go.
Jacksonville.
Wooly.
Jacksonville.
I have the Titans. Cincinnati and Buffalo.
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 Buffalo. Miami is going to lose by 70 to the Cowboys.
Yes.
Easily.
Put your mortgage on it.
sorry guys, we don't have to do the pick'ems. I'm not letting Jaron fuck himself again this week. Denver at Green Bay. Go.
Green Bay.
Green
Green
Bay.
Bay.
I got Green Bay too, Wooly.
Oh,
Wooly?
I said Green Bay.
I didn't hear you. All right. Atlanta at Colts.
At home, I think the Colts.
I'm gonna say Atlanta.
I'm gonna go Indy.
I'm going to go Atlanta too. Baltimore, Kansas City. Jaron.
Ooh.
Baltimore.
Wooly.
Kansas City.
Aegon.
As much as I hate to say this, we're playing in Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Baltimore for me. Oakland, Minnesota. Wooly.
Minnesota.
Aegon.
Minnesota.
Iron Ranger.
Skull, baby.
Raiders by 3.
Ooh.
Jets, New England in New England. New England by
England.
how
New
many
England.
points, boys?
7,000.
47.
Jaron?
I'm gonna say 28.
Okay. I have them by 14. Lions at Eagles. Eagles. Jaron?
Dude, Lions.
Aegon?
Lions.
Wooly.
Eagles.
Panthers at Cardinals. I have the Cardinals by 2. Aegon?
Oh, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, Cardinals.
Wooly.
Carolina.
Iron Ranger.
Arizona.
I don't want to do the next one yet. Can I skip the next one? God damn it. Giants in Tampa. Wooly.
Tampa.
Iron Ranger.
It's gonna end in a tie.
Aegon.
I think the Tampa will still beat the Giants.
Giants by 20. That hurt. Houston in Los Angeles for the Chargers, by the way. Aegon.
Ooh. Houston.
Wooly.
Houston.
Jaron.
Houston.
San Diego. I wish I was doing this on purpose, but I'm actually going first off my head as soon as I name it off to you guys. Pittsburgh at San Francisco. How many does San Francisco win by?
30.
Wooly.
27.
Iron Ranger.
7.
I have them winning by 20. So I think that's going to be another blowout. New Orleans at Seattle. I had the Saints. Aegon.
Saints.
Jaron.
Seattle.
Wooly.
The referees.
Yes.
So Seattle. Got
Seattle.
it. Now to the what I think is going to be the worst 2 games of the week, and they're both prime time. The Sunday night game. The Rams at Cleveland. Wooly.
Rams.
Aegon.
Rams.
Iron Ranger.
Cleveland.
I have Cleveland too. And the worst game of the week, I think, yeah, this is the worst game of the week. Chicago at Washington. Wooly.
Chicago.
Aegon.
I don't know who's gonna win, but all the people watching it are gonna lose.
Wooly, he doesn't get nothing. Just put everyone loses.
Everyone loses.
Iron Ranger.
Nazis.
I'm going Nazis too.
Oh, President Trump. How are you doing, sir?
Yeah, just put his face up there. I'm sure that won't be controversial at all. Too bad you don't have a Photoshop. We'd put Trump's face with the inside the Redskins thing. Yeah, I think the Redskins are going to win. All right, team's going to score the most points is first off your head. Go, Jaron.
New England.
Wooly.
Who's playing Miami?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Aegon.
Oh god, it's a tough one, but oh god, I'm gonna say Dallas. You're playing the freaking Dolphins.
I'm going to go New York Giants. And now that I've made myself sad, guys, thank you for enjoying the podcast. Thank you three for being part of it. This is 2 weeks in a row I've ended the podcast with Rev being sad. Actually, all three NFL podcasts is Rev being sad at the end. This fucking sucks.
Look, I'm sad too. I had to go against my own team because I don't think they're going to beat Kansas.
This is why it's great not having a team to cheer for in this league.
That's right. You're an honorary Bucks fan, so you don't have to care anyway. Just like the
Fuck
rest
you,
of the Bucks
Cronky.
fans. for Aegon, for Jaron, for Wooly. This is Rev. Thank you for joining Four Fat Guys Talk Football. And like, subscribe, and obey, and eat ass, scrubs.
We'll see you on the next Four Fat Guys on Football.
Later, guys.